Hey folks, this is Rhykker with an Overwatch video on the latest teasers about a possible new event or even new hero. The official Overwatch Twitter account posted this tweet: initiating archive declassification. Mission files unlock April 11th. Retweet to confirm. Included was a 20-second video clip, which we'll watch right now. Further, the lead character artist for Overwatch shared this message on social media about the tease. I can't wait to share more of this, as it is, in my opinion, one of the best things we've worked on since launch. Additionally, in a recent interview, game director Jeff Kaplan stated that the 25th hero is very far along in development. Hey folks, I'm going to quickly interrupt this video to bring you some breaking news. As part of an interview with PC Games N, Jeff Kaplan has confirmed some things about the upcoming event. We're going to quote Jeff Kaplan here. "We've heard the call that a lot of players want a non-real world tied event, meaning they want some sort of set event in the Overwatch world. The event is going to be something. When players see the event and play the event, I think they'll see that we've been listening to their feedback. We've been hearing a lot of desire for more story. People want to know more about the story of Overwatch. They want to know more about the past of Overwatch. I think they want to know more about what's going on between Omnics and humans in this world and how did we get there. I think a lot of that will be answered for them." Kaplan went on to say, "I think Widowmaker players who have wanted a skin might be very happy very soon." And now back to your regularly scheduled program. Okay, that covers the too long didn't watch version of this video. Now we get into the mega overanalysis. Let's start with the main text. Overwatch Mission Archives, file 00382, Kings Row Uprising. Entered into record 7 years ago. Security clearance required, confidential, declassified April 11th. Now, right off the bat, the user interface looks very similar to Winston's computer, but that doesn't mean this is Winston's computer or that it has anything to do with Athena. Windows, for instance, has a very distinct user interface, so this could just be a standard operating system in the future. Okay, now, from the text, we know that this pertains to an Overwatch mission from 7 years ago. We can expect more details to emerge next Tuesday, April 11th, and we know that the events took place in Kings Row, which is both an in-game map as well as a fictional location in London in the Overwatch universe. Looking at the timeline, we know that Overwatch was forced to disband 5 years ago, and it was 6 years ago that Jack Morrison and Gabriel Reyes came to blows at Overwatch headquarters and were believed to have been killed in an ensuing explosion, although they actually survived and re-emerged as Soldier 76 and Rhykker. So this mission predates all that. That means that Rhykker is still a part of Overwatch and working with Soldier 76. We'll also know that Widowmaker assassinating that Omnic Mondada, the Peacekeeper, during that cinematic with Tracer, that happened recently, so all that should be unrelated to what we're discussing here. So that begs the question, what kind of uprising could we be seeing in Kings Row that would require Overwatch intervention? Well, we know that Kings Row is a fancy, rich neighborhood, and that there's basically an Omnic ghetto right below it. Omnics built much of modern England, but they're denied the basic rights that humans have, and tensions between humans and Omnics run high. So for there to be an uprising, you gotta have some group that's rising up, as in revolt, and this seems more likely that it would be the oppressed Omnics that will be rising up against their human oppressors. Now, Overwatch played a key role in stopping the Omnic crisis, so it makes sense for Overwatch to intervene in another humans versus Omnic conflict. We should also note that when we play on Kings Row, the payload we are delivering is an EMP bomb straight into the heart of the Omnic ghetto to kill the Omnics. Whether this is related to the event is unclear. It seems like this might have been something that happened after, but we don't know for sure yet. Okay, so what else do we see in this video? Well, there's a panel on the left side that shows Omnics, some kind of QR code, and the text that reads, "Mandatory robot registration." The use of the bold color, monochrome, Omnic depictions, and in-your-face text is all very aggressive and oppressive in what is already an overbearing mandate. And this may have been the final straw in what led to the Omnic Uprising. Let's focus in on the QR code a bit here. If you're wondering about this pseudo QR code, because those of you familiar with QR codes would recognize that this is... It resembles a QR code, but it's definitely not a real QR code. And it is in fact identical to the pseudo QR code that we find in Numbani. So by itself, this QR code scans into nothing. But this was actually used as a piece of a puzzle that was solved a very long time ago, about 8 months I want to say. You see, in a preview video for King's Row, released a very long time ago, we could see a QR code on a monitor, and that never actually made it into the game. Those monitors aren't there in the actual King's Row map. However, the texture for that monitor, for the QR code on the monitor, was found in data mined files. Now, that QR code didn't scan into anything either, but by combining this new quotes, pseudo QR code with the old QR code, it scanned simply into the word robot. It was an interesting little puzzle that required a bit of effort and thinking to solve, but with ultimately very little payoff. So what else do we see in the video? Well, in the background we see a very positive looking image with vivid colors that says something like Turing Green SW0, subtitle Building an Omnic Future. It's a little unclear because some of the letters are hidden, but that's my best guess. So let's break this down. Turing Green, we're unsure about green, but Turing something SW0. The name Turing may be familiar to you. You may have heard of the Turing test. And the Turing test was developed by Alan Turing in 1950. He was an English computer scientist and widely known as the father of artificial intelligence. The Turing test itself is a test of a machine's ability to exhibit intelligent behavior that is indistinguishable from a human. So basically, Alan Turing would obviously be an important figure to Omnics. And the fact that he's English only helps the matter since King's Row is in England. Further, the SW0 seems to be an English postal code. SW is the modern postal code for Southwest London, and the 0 added at the end could be a fictional addition to refer to some sub-area or nearby area, specifically for this Turing Green. It appears to be some area built, designed specifically for Omnics, an Omnic haven, if you will, within England. How exactly this ties into the narrative that we're constructing here is pretty unclear. Could it be that the Omnics were promised a haven and instead got a ghetto? Turing Green clearly seems to be above ground, so it's not clear. It obviously wouldn't be that the Turing Green turned into the ghetto, which is distinctly underground. But I look forward to seeing more details emerge. Now, what else do we see? We see what appears to be, in the bottom left there, an image taken from the King's Row subway. It looks very similar to the Defender's spawn room. We don't actually see that monitor on the wall or advertisement or whatever you want to call it, but everything else seems to match. The curvature, the exit or entrance. Now, another thing we see in this video is what appears to be a Tracer skin. It's pretty clearly Tracer, given the two side guns. And overall, it does resemble her very much, so it's unlikely to be a new character. But it's not clear what exactly this skin depicts. We're using a very low-resolution image here. Some speculated initially that it was an Omnic skin, but Reddit user Jalaguy provided these enhanced screenshots in which it seems a lot clearer that this is not an Omnic skin, but again, it's difficult to discern details, but I feel like I see a bow tie or a scarf or some kind of neckwear. Overall, the colors seem to look kind of industrial, which is maybe what led people to think initially that was an Omnic skin. I think I could make out some kind of light-colored little hat on her head. Could this possibly be a steampunk Tracer skin? Or maybe something closer to Diva's Junker skin? Who knows, but what is almost certain is that this is a preview for an upcoming Tracer skin. And that ties into what the hell all of this is about to begin with. This all seems to be a teaser for probably an upcoming spring event. It does seem like it'll soon be time for a new Overwatch event, and we've already had a summer event with the Summer Games, we've had an autumn event with the Halloween Terror event, and we've had a winter event with Winter Wonderland, so it's pretty logical that we're going to have a spring event. We did have a Lunar New Year event squeezed in between there. That ended February 13th though, so it'll soon be 2 months since our last Overwatch event, and that means we're about due for a new one. Given Blizzard has been opting to avoid any religiously connotated events, you know, we got Winter Wonderland instead of the Christmas event, I doubt we'll see an Easter event for spring. So, the King's Row Uprising may be our first specifically Overwatch lore-themed in-universe event. And it would only be natural that King's Row may somehow be a map that is involved. In fact, on the PTR a week or two ago, some changes were made to King's Row's lighting. It made the map distinctly warmer. You can check out these comparison screenshots here taken by Redditor Carl for President, all on max graphics settings, so it's not that, oh, it's a difference between low settings and high settings or anything like that. Now, these changes were mostly met with negative feedback, and Blizzard apparently passed that feedback on to the lighting artists, because all that was changed apparently was the lighting. There are no texture changes. Now, this wouldn't be the first time that we've seen an event change a map's lighting. In the Year of the Rooster event, for instance, we revisited some familiar maps under different lighting conditions. So could this lighting rework be in preparation of a similar treatment for King's Row? And what exactly could this new event entail? Could this be another PvE game mode like Halloween Terror, where we fight off robot hordes? Could one of the Doomfists somehow be connected to any of this? That's a bit of a stretch, but a girl can dream. But while everything seems to point to this being a new event, we've also just learned that the 25th hero isn't all that far off. In a recent interview with IB Times UK, Jeff Kaplan said, quote, "Yes, I absolutely know who the next hero is going to be. The next hero is very far along in development, so we're at the point where we're doing art for that hero, we're doing a lot of aggressive playtesting. We know what that hero, what the abilities are and how they interact, so we're at that point. The heroes past that hero are more in prototype, exploration phase, but the next hero we're pretty set on. Now, odds are this means we won't be getting the hero within the next couple of weeks. We'll likely have to wait a little bit longer for that, further cementing the idea that this is a teaser for an upcoming event rather than the next hero. We also just got Orisa, so it seems pretty soon to be getting another hero. Maybe by summer. Now, one more thing I want to bring up from the video, there's a series of icons running up along the top. Though difficult to discern, these all correspond to icons used for hero abilities. The degraded quality of the video really makes it difficult to discern, especially if you just take a screenshot. It's actually easier to see what those icons are, to make them out if you watch the video, because the way the artifacting happens, depending on the frame of the video, sometimes the icons are more or less discernible. But from left to right, we see Soldier 76's Biotic Field, then we see Hanzo's Sonic Arrow, then we see Lucio's Crossfade, then the next one is apparently another Lucio icon. It's the cooldown indicator that you see while you're on heal mode. The next one is Bastion's Self-Repair, next is Mei's Ice Wall, then Bastion's Reconfigure, and then Reinhardt's Fire Strike. What could be the significance of these icons? Could these be all the heroes getting new skins? So if we have two, for instance, 2 for Lucio and 2 for Bastion, that they're getting 2 skins? Well, it's at face value a good guess, but when you think about it a little bit more, it kind of falls apart, because there's no Tracer icon, and it's pretty obvious we're getting some kind of Tracer skin giving the big-ass teaser. Now, one thing we'll note is that in Heroes of the Storm, which is Blizzard's MOBA game, there was an event called the Nexus Challenge a few months ago, in which you can earn a Genji skin in Overwatch by playing Heroes of the Storm. That's that sick Oni skin for Genji. Now, on April 25th, a second Nexus Challenge will be revealed. So it's possible we may get to earn another Overwatch skin, and it may be this Tracer skin here. Also, while it's likely unrelated, we'll mention that it was leaked that Genji is a hero that will be added to Heroes of the Storm and will most likely be the next hero. Now, another reason why it seems unlikely that these icons indicate which heroes are getting skins is that in an Ask Me Anything on Reddit, game director Jeff Kaplan said that Widowmaker and McCree would be getting new skins in spring. So odds are that this spring event will see us have skins for McCree and Widowmaker. And again, none of their icons are appearing. So then what could the icons mean? Who knows? I tried looking at the first letter of every skill, the first letter of every hero name, and nothing seems to spell out anything, so it could just be random symbols. But if you guys can find some meaning to it, please leave a comment. And that wraps up this video. Do stay tuned for more videos as this story develops. You know that we're going to find out more information for sure next week, but there might possibly be more hints along the way. Go ahead and leave a comment with your thoughts and speculation on all this. Do you think we're getting a new event? Thanks for watching. Special thanks to my Twitch and Patreon supporters for making these videos possible. If you enjoyed this video, please share it, check out these other videos, and subscribe to join Rhykker's Raiders for more Overwatch content.